Tourists typically flock to the seaside municipalities of Sicily for its abundant beaches and lively night scenes. But tucked away high up in the mountains of the island's interior lie Sicily's quietest treasures, its villages. Our trip here was centered around visiting towns like these, and the very first one we stopped at on our 4-day Sicilian road trip did not disappoint. This is Castiglione de Sicilia. The younger generations are moving away from villages like these and seeking out work and tourism as the economies of the seaside cities continue to expand over recent decades. As a result, the populations of these inner mountain towns are dwindling fast. When we walked through Castiglione, we noticed how empty and almost eerie the energy felt. It was as though we had entered a ghost town. After some time, we eventually crossed paths with some older locals as well as a couple of tourists here and there. However, most of the time we had the streets completely to ourselves. Having spent so much time already in cities like Palermo, Catania, and even Taormina earlier that day, being here felt like such a massive shift in tone. In some ways it was calming and peaceful, but in other ways it was disturbing and even depressing. But as we drove away from Castiglione, I looked in the rearview mirror and came to a realization that really stuck with me, and is not an issue exclusive to Sicily. These remote places with views for miles and traditions belonging exclusively to these villages are slowly dying out. Things like local delicacies could completely disappear if everyone gathers together to a few major population centers. As an urbanist, I recognize a need for cities and the role they play in contributing to economic growth and quality of life. But being here in Castiglione, I also acknowledge how valuable the life and values of these smaller communities can truly be. We should be able to have both coexist, with benefits of living in either form. Otherwise, places like this will just become a distant memory. I guess in the end, traditions change and new ones form in their place. But it is sad to imagine a world in my lifetime where a town this beautiful and people this kind ends up abandoned and forgotten. Visiting places like Castiglione reminds me of why I took this trip in the first place. There's so much to see, and it won't always be there. So we should appreciate places like Castiglione and some of its local ways now while we still can. Here's an example of Jenny and I trying this out for ourselves. Which one do you want to try first?
So these two are made of
Sheep cheese.
cheese. These two are veal, so I'm just guessing cow.
Yeah.
All right, and then pepper, pistachio, donkey meat, and salami. I want to try the donkey meat first.
Yeah, gotta.
Okay. It tastes like Spam. It really does. It's like a saltier version of Spam.
Ooh.
No, about the same saltiness. Yeah. Try it.
Okay. Cheers. Yeah,
Like Spam.
it's a weird consistency.
Yeah.
We need to double check that that's what he said it was.
Donkey meat.